If you've been scrolling through endless listings, watching video after video trying to decide whether a home water distiller is really worth the countertop space, you're not alone. The market is flooded with everything from tiny 1-gallon units to industrial-style machines that promise a whole barrel of pure water every day, and it's easy to feel paralyzed by the choices. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video, I'm going to walk through the practical side of the Durastill 12-gallon-per-day automatic water distiller, show you where it actually shines, and point out the hidden trade-offs that most spec sheets hide. First off, let's talk about why anyone would need a 12-gallon-per-day system in a typical home. If you're the kind of person who drinks several liters of water a day, runs a coffee shop from your kitchen, or you have a small family that relies on distilled water for baby formula, a humidifier, or a tabletop aquarium, the daily output of 46 liters, about 12 gallons, can cover you for weeks without having to refill. On the other hand, if you only need a quart or two for occasional cooking, a countertop unit that sits on a shelf might feel like overkill. The Durastill sits in that middle ground, big enough to keep a household stocked, small enough to fit on a standard kitchen counter or a utility room shelf, but you still have to be honest about space and power consumption. The heart of the machine is a 316 alloy stainless steel evaporator. That's a grade you'll find in marine applications, so it resists corrosion from the constant exposure to hot water and steam. In real life, that means you're less likely to see pitting or rust spots after months of daily use, which is a common complaint with lower-grade metal distillers. The heating element is made from Incalloy, another corrosion-resistant alloy, and it draws 1500 watts. At that power level, the unit brings water to a boil fairly quickly. Most users report a full 12-gallon batch being ready in about 12 to 14 hours, assuming a normal 115-volt outlet. If you plan to run it overnight, you'll have a full reservoir ready by morning without any need to babysit the process. Now, let's get into the day-to-day experience. You pour tap water into the top chamber, close the lid, and press start. The machine automatically monitors the temperature and controls the vent system that releases volatile gases. That vent is a practical safety feature. It prevents any residual chlorine or other compounds from condensing back into the distilled water. In practice, you'll notice that the water that drips into the collection tank is completely odorless and tastes like, well, nothing exactly what you expect from distilled water. Because the unit is fully automatic, you don't have to intervene once it's running, which is a relief if you have a busy schedule. One practical strength that often gets lost in the marketing hype is the energy footprint. A 1500-watt draw running for 12 hours translates to roughly 18 kilowatt-hours per day, which on a typical U.S. electric rate adds up to about $2-3 a month. For many people, that cost is acceptable when you factor in the savings from not buying bottled water and the peace of mind of knowing each glass is free of minerals, heavy metals, and microbes. If you're extremely energy conscious, you might still prefer a smaller unit that runs less often, but the Durastill's consumption is comparable to a small space heater. Space is another realistic concern. The unit's footprint is about the size of a large microwave, and it's about 16 inches tall. It needs a stable, level surface that can support roughly 15 pounds when full. That means you'll need to clear a spot on a counter or a sturdy shelf, and you'll have to keep the vent hose clear of obstructions. Some users have mentioned that the vent pipe can be a little noisy when steam is released, especially in a quiet apartment at night. It's not a scream-inducing sound, but it's audible enough that you might want to place the unit in a utility closet if you're a light sleeper. Who should buy this? If you run a small home-based business that requires large amounts of pure water, think a craft soda line, a lab setting, a small-scale herbal extraction hobbyist, or even a serious coffee aficionado who swears by distilled water for brewing, this unit gives you the volume you need without the hassle of constantly refilling a tiny bottle. It's also a solid choice for families with infants who need formula prepared with distilled water, or for households dealing with hard water issues where a conventional filtration system can't keep up with the scale buildup in appliances. In those scenarios, the durability of the 316 alloy evaporator and the consistent daily output translate directly into fewer headaches and lower long-term costs. Conversely, you might want to skip this model if you're looking for a portable solution for camping, or if you only need distilled water for occasional use like filling a humidifier once a month. The upfront price point is higher than a 1-gallon countertop model, and you'll